Hey, good morning, Roy. How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Mr. Miller. I am doing well.
Excellent.
How about yourself? Are you doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I'm
Excellent.
just, I was up late working on fanfare,
Uh-huh.
and hold on a second. I got a UI query here. Somehow I popped these up, and I don't know how to pop them down. Do I double click them? No. Hold on a second. Let me show you what I'm looking at, so you can see. Right there. Interesting. Can't figure that out.
It's like a large tab preview kind of thing.
Yeah, I've done this before and I've dropped them down. I just don't remember what magic I did to bring them down. I don't know. That's my current state of things. You were with us for a long time yesterday, buddy.
I was for a fair amount of time.
I sincerely appreciate that.
No trouble.
I was like, that's very cool. You were like almost 2 hours. That was like a record, and so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I'm monitoring some travel from my family. So every once in a while, my family goes away,
Hello, Jack.
Well, no, I'm just I'm like just checking in on make sure they're all safe and okay. When that happens, Overkill Productions, we switch into, you guessed it, Overkill, and so we have new fanfares out here.
Woohoo.
Let me just, I think I've got the fanfare command. Let me try, let me see if I can, Brandon, let's see if we can get, see if the test fanfare works right now. It does. All right. Sounds, so I have two new fanfares for today, for our friends Jetsam and Codeman Codes. If they happen to show up today, you will see them. I think one of them is, in my opinion, I think really funny. I'm like, I probably as I was building it, watched it like about 20 times, and every
It's always a
time,
good sign.
yeah, every time at the end, I was like, yeah, it gets me, it gets me. But it's not. It's not what I would say like, obvious funny. It's
Okay.
excuse me, it's kind of like I think it's a certain style. You've got to kind of be into that kind of style of funny, and then it's funny, and if not, you might be like, what is going on? It's Legendary Moo! Always subtle. Legendary Moo is always subtle coming into the house. Yeah, I don't get the this is a mystery to me right now. And my custom intro worked, did it? Oh, things are about to get legend. Wait for it, dairy. That's right, boys and girls, grab your sippy cups and prepare for some wholesome coding fun. Legendary Moo is into house. Nice. Thank you, Legendary Moo, for that work, by the way. Yeah, that was awesome. Legendary Moo helped by taking our custom fanfare introductions and bring them out into a custom class, which, I should have done, but I didn't. And Legendary Moo figured it out and, made the code better. So super appreciate that. Speaking of making the code better, I'm trying to remember where we were. I think I was over in main window CS, this file. We were working on something a couple days ago, and it was a method called get show. I think it was get show, get point. No, get something. It was get. Let's see if we can say time. No. Would it be possible to put together refactoring that does promote to optional parameter? Yeah, Roy, can you send an email?
Yeah, we'll do.
That's like a good idea. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Let's do that.
We always like CodeRushed suggestions.
Let's see if over here in the recents, and it'll help me. Oh man, looks like recents are not persisted across sessions. Oh my gosh, kids, who's that? Who's that? Is that Supercoder? Is that IT man? Who's that guy? Regex? That sounds like a great idea. No, not Regex. I got it. It's Codeman Codes, people, in the house. That's the one I think is incredibly funny. Codeman Codes is awesome. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I think that one is incredibly funny. Yeah, it is, it's a little crazy, a little over the top, but we might make a shorter one of that too, clipping it says Codeman Codes. Excellent. Good. I'm glad you like that. Yeah, it's so funny. I feel like so kind of vulnerable when I make these sometimes because I'm thinking, oh, what if they hate them? What if I make something and whoever I do this for is like hates it and then I'd have to deal with that, like, rethink everything. Hold on a second. I know what I want to look for here. I want to look for that. Oh, come on. I thought it was for sure in here. Oh! What's that, Rory? Who could it be? Whoa.
He's in the house.
Jetsam is in the house. Good afternoon, Jetsam.
Some fun with those things, haven't you?
A little bit. Spectacular. Yeah, I noticed a small an issue with that I need to fix, but I will. This morning I was like, oh no, I had originally done Jetsams with a lowercase t and an uppercase s because I was trying to do it by memory, and this morning I checked, and I was thinking, I realized I could check on Twitter, and I checked and I realized, oh, it was gone. It was two uppercase letters at the beginning, JT's uppercase, and so I made some last minute frantic changes here. I was trying to find. Oh, wait.
He's in the house.
Wilbin is so good at his intros. He suffers PTSD from hearing fire at will, but is overjoyed to hear, where there is a will, there is a way. There can be only one. Never bend to the will of others. It's Will Bennett, folks. Speaking of Will Bennett, that's what I was searching for as I was searching for Will Bennett, and he's not in here. I put a comment out in my code. Is it going to be anywhere in here? Maybe out in the other one. Just trying to get some closure on this. Let me go back over here and do a search over here. Oh, it's in this one, isn't it? It is... yeah, it's here. Is it time? Get active show point URL. There we go. This line of code, I just want to show that. Before this was, if this is not null and this dot data is not null, then, and this dot data dot count is greater than 0. And Will Bennett said, hey, shouldn't you just use this? And we were like, yep. That's right, so we fixed that. Thanks, Will Bennett, for that.
How does the Boolean expression work if one of those is null?
So
Does it
it's false.
fail?
Yeah, it goes to false.
Okay.
So because it's basically
Nice syntax.
we can't. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? We can't get to a true state, so it just goes to false, and we're out. So Will Bennett, thanks so much for that. Super appreciate that. So yesterday, Rory, we got the timer alarms working and firing, and we created a test case for it, and the world was good and happy. And I just kind of want to take that. I wanted to start by taking that just one step further, if I could, and I wanted to look up a spell like Divine Sense, and I wanted to kind of set up the spell so that it would run and then stop automatically when its spell duration ended.
Okay. Yeah.
That's kind of what I want to do. And, as typical, I've not prepared at all because I, was working on Codeman Code's intro.
Nice to see the priorities are all set up as appropriately.
I really love that, by the way. I'm like, it's so happy to me. The total, it's he looks like something really important is going to happen, and he's working on some seriously important code. So, if it's null, does it default? Will Bennett says, if it's null, does it default to 0, or do you need? Do I need 2 question marks? I'm pretty sure this is all I need. I'm pretty sure what we can do, though, is we can set a breakpoint here, and we can test it right now. We can say CR issue like this, and I think that's all I need. Or no, I need one more. I need to give it some, oh no, wait, here we go. We're good. All right, so I think we can do something like this. We can, whoops, do this. Maybe do a quick watch? No, maybe not. Just to add watch on that. And so now we've got our watch on that. And that says it's 20. Then let's come down and let's say this dot data is equal to this dot data is equal to null. What? I can't assign data to something? Kind of looks like...
You quick watch the data, and of course its parent live show data.
Oh.
And you can alter the value on the right rather than...
Maybe I can do that. There we go. There we go. I can do that right there. I can do that. Okay. So so now that I've done that, so that's now null. Let's see what happens here. We just jump down here, no exception or anything. So it's essentially a false. Okay, so that's it. That's what's going on there. Legendary Moose says you need to go to the immediate window for that. Oh, well, I hadn't thought of that, doing my mistake. Actually, not your mistake, Legendary Moose. You can do that in the immediate window, right? I'm just like, I've never been a guy who's jumped over to the immediate window. I've always worked in the watch window, and sometimes I run into devs and they're like immediate window all the time. And I'm like, okay, I totally accept that. I just have never made my way over there and used that as a tool. I think because I can do these things in the watch window. Yeah. So
I take the hybrid approach, which is I still use the quick watch window, but I watch a full expression, something that does evaluate, and I use it as a pointer to that endpoint. So I would actually double click the value column and then set my value that way and hit enter.
Nice. Yeah, so lots of ways to do things, to solve problems, right? No really wrong way or right way on this. Okay, so let's, normally I like to give you a better, more well-prepared show. Hey, let's do this. Please tell us about your experience with document tabs. I saw this this morning in Visual Studio. Document management is opening and closing document tabs, switching between document tabs, identifying and finding documents, and other similar activities. Yeah. I'm kind of a guy. I remember I spoke to Visual Studio team about document tabs a long time ago, and 2004, and I said, look, you guys are doing it wrong. This is the way to do it. And they were like, no. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. And so I kind of got used to the way they do it. How satisfied are you with document tension management in Visual Studio? Well, I don't want to maybe answer this and tell you this. Do you actually custom and document well extension? Let's take a look at what that is. Change the behavior of the document tabs. Oh, I've never seen this. Oh, cool. Oh, look at that. Who's written this? Is this Matt's?
Could well be.
Microsoft Dev Labs. Okay.
Matt's
cool.
new name.
Is it? Interesting.
Maybe.
What type of monitor layout do you typically work with? Yeah. Well, I definitely can answer that. What size of the solutions? Probably about that. Space right there. And but I'm like thinking about it now. All right, cool. Let's maybe install that between now and tomorrow. I'll kind of put this over here. Okay, the next thing I want to do though is I want to look up Divine Sense. Divine Sense D&D. Whoops. Yeah. Paladin 5th origin. divine sense. I was hoping I would see. I don't want this. All right, fine. I bet I can get a link here to divine sense. Any link there? No. Come on. Maybe look for divine sense description. Paladin. Let's see what we get here. There we go. That's not helpful. I don't want that. Well, I thought this was going to be super flippin' easy, and I don't see it. All right, let's do... wait, let's try one more thing. Duration. What is going on? Why is this not answered? So that how long? It's only a 6-second spell? Oh, it's just a one-time thing. Okay. Sorry. So divine sense, that's probably why I'm having trouble here. So no, I don't want that. What else do I have? I have sanctuary until the spell ends. So how long does sanctuary last? Let's look at that. All right. Whoops. Sanctuary. Okay. Duration is a minute. Okay, fine. So sanctuary lasts a minute. Perfect. Okay. So let's go over to here. And I want to go find sanctuary. Add sanctuary. So here's where we add the sanctuary. I'm going to shut down the D&D stuff. And by the way, Roy, try flying out a drone and see if we get a drone coming out. All right, D&D stuff is no longer out. And is the drone working? Drone's working. All right, cool. Let's put some music on. You want to listen to some music, Roy? What are your thoughts on music? Roy likes music. That's a hot take. It's kind of controversial.
Many different types.
Okay, so cool. Now we've got the app. I love this, that things are working, and we've got the D&D app not running. By the way, I fixed one of the problems we had yesterday with the... it wasn't getting the secret data out, and so that appears to be fixed now. So we can now mark CodeRushed issues. Okay. So let's see here.
So presumably this is now assembling of all the various parts. You've got a wind-up for Add Sanctuary. You're going to set an alarm for the future, which is about a minute, and then that's going to inform somebody that it has in fact expired.
Yeah. So I just did a search for spell to see if I have any classes. Looks like I've got an enum out there called spell under attack type, but no class called spell. So I'm going to create a new class called spell.
Okay.
And we're going to have a couple properties in here. So we're going to say, let's do this. Let's do AI, and we're going to say range. So that's in feet. We're going to have duration. And duration is going to be of type D&D. Is it going to be? No, it's going to be time span. That's perfect. So this is going to be a duration. And it's going to have a name. Like that. And I will go ahead and give it a description as well. So let's see what else is happening over here. There's a casting time as well. There's a piece right there. So we're going to say the casting time.
That's almost a wind-up duration.
Yeah, actually, hold on. Do I have a D&D time span? Hot. I do. Okay. So I'm going to do a casting time as well. Because the D&D time span, yeah, I remember working on this, barely. But it allows me to create new ones from hours, days, or even rounds and seconds. So I can set up, you know, what is, do I have from bonus action? Looks like from actions? I don't know if I have a bonus action in here yet. Let's see what my time measure is got inside of it. Doesn't have bonus action, so let's add a bonus action in here at the end. And that's going to be 9, like that. Okay? Bonus actions. Cool. So, from actions, we're going to duplicate that and call it from bonus actions. Cool. Bonus actions are essentially instantaneous. But, you know, we're somewhere else. I think let's go look at actions, see if action shows up anywhere else. Somewhere else we might convert this to actual time. Is forever. Okay, that's how we store forever in there.
This was possibly the one area of the API that you couldn't translate to an actual real-time span because there was no definitive nature of how long it would take.
Right, yeah. So I think we're okay there with that change. I don't think there's anything else we need to do there. What else do we need over here? We have the level, components. I've never played a D&D game where anybody's used these components or required them. I feel like that just slows combat down like crazy. If we were to do it, at least how I imagine it. So, and I can't imagine a dungeon master saying, "Sorry, your mirror's broken. You can't cast Sanctuary." I mean, I kind of get some of these. Like, I think the M stands for movement, the V stands for voice, or visual. Maybe it's visual, and the S is somatic. I think. Let's go ahead and since we're talking about those, let's look at those. V, S, M, D, and D casting. What are those? Like the music.
You can also imagine some circumstances in which there's a duration taken to cast, but it's considered a duration in which you must not be interrupted. So if somebody lands a successful attack on you within that time, you have to start again.
HE 2017 is here. Will, I have a question on something you said earlier. I love the pin to separate row function. You were talking about the... hold on.
This is the document well extension?
Yeah, the document well extension, I think, right?
Something similarly named, anyway.
All right, so components of it. Yeah, let's do this. Let's search for voice, see if we... No voice. Components. Here it is, verbal, somatic, and material. That's what it is, not movement. It's okay. So here we go. So verbal, chanting mystic words. So that means you cannot be silenced, that sort of thing, right? So you have to be able to speak. Somatic, okay, means that you have to be able to move, at least one hand available to perform these gestures. And material. So these are interesting to me, right? So like if you get like somehow incapacitated, that sort of thing, right? And then there's a material component. Okay.
I love the material, so it's dependent upon, as you say, a mirror or whatever. But for all you know, some little thief has just come along and stolen that. Pickpocketed you.
All right, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna go ahead and add those folks out there. So we're gonna create a new enum. It's gonna be called spell components, like that, and it's gonna be vocal. Is that what it is? Let's make sure we get all those right. It's right over here.
Votive or something.
Let's try again. Looking for, is it vocal? Verbal.
It's verbal.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty close.
Verbal. Somatic means I got to move, and material. Okay. Spell components. These are going to be, that's going to be a 1, that's going to be a 2, and that's going to be a 4. Give this the flags.
Flags, because we may be as many of those as we need to be.
Yeah. And then we're going to create a new auto-implemented property called components. Okay? Rory is back, Janisco7 says. Yeah,
I'm back.
Hey, we got some flowers over there. It looks nice.
Aw.
You guys are so good at decorating. I should give you guys more decorating power, right? We were talking about yesterday, one of the things we talked about was creating sunflowers, having sunflowers grow. And then maybe we would have, a slug or a legendary moo come by and eat the flowers or the sunflowers or something like that. So, okay. We've got a component.
We have a spell with components. That's good.
You're so good at keeping me on track. What the material is. I think I'm going to add a string here. Okay. And we've got duration, casting time, all of that. Okay, cool. So that's a spell. Let's put that in its own file. In fact, let's move this down to D&D Core. That's got, that's not really a UI thing we just did.
Sure.
So let's go find D&D Core down here. I'm just going to quickly pop it up here and then move type to file on these. So there, move type to file, hit escape, move type to file. Now we've got spell and it's right there. Okay, cool. So now we've got a spell. Let's now go back over into our main window and go back to Sanctuary. Add Sanctuary there. So this is a player action shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to look like this. Sanctuary.spell equals new spell and we're going to say name equals Sanctuary. Duration, this is the real key part right here. Duration is equal to D&D time span dot from, and what is it again? It's 1 minute, I think.
It was 1 minute, yeah.
Yeah, 1 minute. So we're going to say from minutes 1. And I think that's essentially all we need for now, for that part. We can add more detail later, depending on what's needed. But we're going to come in here now, and we're going to say, declare that. So now we got the spell in there.
Yep.
It's going to be null. Player action shortcut, just hitting tab to next reference on this. Will Bennett. Wait, does Rory have a fanfare? Will Bennett says he doesn't need one. Copperbeardy, when the clouds and the sea part, the lightning flashes and thunder rolls, Rory is coming. Also, I've got one for Rory. It's this right here.
Cool story, bro.
What? No, that's not it. It is this one.
Awesome contribution.
Speaking of which, we haven't done this in a while. Whoa. Oh, no. Oh, no.
On fire.
Someone get an extinguisher quick.
That's what we need, that total extinguisher. That's a great contribution, Rory. Thank you so much.
He's awesome.
All right.
Wow, there's some really nice things in the chat room being said. Guys, it's too much.
Yeah, you're awesome. Well, Ben, I was actually picturing a dark cloud and then the talking sun appear and makes all the cloud nice and white. Yeah. So, there we go. Oh!
Michael Jolly is in the
Michael,
house.
no. Pull up. Oh, Michael, jeez. Every time. I used to do that with my kids when I was, when they were younger. I would watch shows with them a second time around and scream at the characters not to do the things that got them into trouble the first time. And then I'd turn to the kids and I'd be like, why do they still make the same mistakes every time? The kids would be like, Dad?
Hugo is in the house.
We got a lot of people here this morning. Folks who are just arriving, you missed two killer fanfares. One for Codeman Codes, and yes, the latecomers missed the new intros. Should we show them again? Will, you want to do that? I was just saying that. Even though they're, technically not there. I mean, technically it's kind of a rule violation. Michael Jolly says yes, please. All right, here we go. So here's Jetsam. It's a plane, Rory. Whoa.
Look out, Mark.
He's in the house.
Jetsam's in the house. Cool. Jetsam's in the house. And here's Codeman Codes. He's working on something important, I think. Shh. Relax. No Regex. No. I got it. It's one of my favorites. I love that one. I love that one so much.
He's so intense.
And I love how the music turns down for each one, right? And then comes back up right after they're done. So everybody's kind of cool. Okay, so Codeman Codes has been working out. Yeah, he doesn't skip squat day. Does not skip squat day. That's a good idea, not to skip it. Okay, so hold on. There's a control in here that starts with GRD. Grid player role options. Is that where I want to be? Yeah, I think that's it. Is that right or no? No. Hold on, let's do this. Look for shortcut. Action shortcuts. Build shortcut button. This is kind of where I want to go. And then in build shortcut, I want to go here, the click event handler. So for folks coming in late, we're working on adapting and getting our timer that we built yesterday, our Dungeons and Dragons time clock timer, to work with actual Dungeons and Dragons things like spells. So that's what we're kind of hooking up right now. So we're creating a new spell called Sanctuary. It's got a duration of 1 minute. And so we're going to hook that up and see if we can get the effect to actually last for as long as that minute lasts in the game, in game time. And so that's what we're working on now. So here we go. Here's the on-click handler right here. And so we've now clicked that button. And so what I want to do now is I want to say, hey, if action shortcut.spell is not null, then we got a spell.
We have got a spell.
And if we got a spell, then what I want to do is I want to check to see if spell.duration is forever. If it's not forever, then we got a spell with a duration. Okay?
Yep.
Then I want to, I need a way. Hold on, let's go to D&D time span. I thought there was a way to turn this into a regular time span.
Get time span.
There it is.
Yeah.
Sweet. Cool. And so we're going to return 0 if it's like, a bonus action or an action or something along those lines. Yeah. That's perfect. So get time span is what we need. Cool. So we're going to say get time span is going to be the call we're going to use here. Whoops, not that one. I feel like I want voice recognition to hear what I'm saying, and then if it picks the wrong one, say, oh, maybe you meant this. Maybe not. Maybe that's a bad idea. Michael Jolly says, what number would you like on the live coders jersey? Orders being placed now. Yeah, what's my number? What do you think? Should it be 8? Should it be 0?
Wow. Votes in the chat room. What do we think? Mark's number. What year did you start CodeRushed? Which one?
Wow.
All of it? Back in the Delphi eras? Or?
Yeah, a long time ago. I don't know. I don't really keep track of past stuff.
I reckon Studio was around 2003.
Yeah, no. I started way before that. I started easily, I think 5 years before that. I want to say like 98, because I was doing at Coders for Delphi going, and so I think 98, 97 maybe. Yeah, maybe 98. I think it might be safe to say. So that's my guess. Copper Beauty says number 1. Michael, I'm thinking about it. I don't have a great answer at this point. I'm going to think about it, and I'll get back to everybody. Do you know, Michael, how pressing that time is? I have a feeling since you're asking me now that you're like aware of a Discord conversation that I should be in. Largest 2-digit prime number.
Largest.
That's like 97? Pretty sure 97. Largest 2-digit from a Fibonacci sequence. Making it geeky. I could just do 3.1. It's pi. I kind of like that. Can I get a decimal place in, Michael Jolly? Because I think a 3.1 would be awesome. It's pi. All right, so here's my time span right here. So now I need to create a new alarm here. So I need to go to my D&D timeclock.create alarm. Time span from now, it's that. Sweet. Give it a name, and we're going to call it,
I have a question, Mark. If you're creating an alarm for a time span in the future, that's a real minute you've got by that point. And so you're going to add that minute. Actually, no, it's not a problem, is it? Because you're going to take a real minute and add it to the current D&D time clock, so that if you stop time, i.e. you enter combat, for example, and you slow time down, that will actually last more than a minute of real time.
Yeah. Let me show you our test case, because I don't think you were here for the test. Up here in alarm test. So check it out. This is a sweet test. It's really sweet. By the way, Will Bennett again helped out. We had these outside in the class, and Will's like, hey, why don't you just make those local functions? And I was like, yes, it's so much better. Good job. And these were outside as well, and they brought them into the function. So basically, I've got these local functions, first alarm fired, that are hooked up to the alarms that we've got. We're creating 2 different alarms. So we set the time, the start time here to the year's 2000, and we're in the first month, the first day. And it'll, by default, set it to midnight.
Indeed.
Then we say create alarm 5 seconds from now. Call it first. Hook to it, it's alarm fired right up here. So we're going to hook its alarm fired event to first alarm fired. When that event is triggered, we say set the first alarm time. So we're going to record what time it is when that is to ea.timeclock.time. So the time clock is passed in here. And we set alarm fired to true. And we do the same thing in second alarm fired. We just record the times in both of those. Okay, with that prep, we come in, we verify that first alarm has not been fired and second alarm has not been fired. Cool. We checked also that first alarm time and second alarm time are both equal to min value. So we're essentially verifying that we're starting okay. Then we advance the D&D time clock by 10 seconds. The D&D time clock will only move if it's explicitly told to advance.
Yep.
Okay? And over here in our main window, let me search for advance here. Like that. Let's do a whole word search on that. Got a call here. Advanced turn click. Add day click. Add 10 day. Add month. Add hour. Add 10 minutes. Add minute. And there should be... Oh, come on. Where's the other one? Oh, it's this one. This call comes in to this real-time clock handler. So we have a clock handler that every 200 milliseconds is called. And when that's called, we check the time since the last update, we record the last update time, and we say, here's how much time has been passing since the last update.
Okay.
Okay? That's what we're doing, and we're advancing. So the D&D clock only advances. Now, right now the D&D clock to my right is not advancing, and the reason it's not advancing is because we shut down the D&D app. But once we restart it, that should start clicking and moving again. And so that's how it moves. So back over to... Whoops. What'd I do? Hit help? Back over to our alarm tests. We advance the clock 10 seconds. Our first alarm was set at 5 seconds. Then we check to see if our first alarm is fired and if the first alarm fire time is equal to our start time plus 5 seconds.
Yep.
And we verified the second alarm's still not been fired. And then we're cool. We advance another 10 seconds. The second alarm's set for 15, and we verify the second alarm's fired. And this test failed at first, and we wrote the code and it passed. So it's a really awesome test for this. So,
Nice test, yeah.
all right. So now we've got this. Now I want to kind of create the spell, the sanctuary spell, which I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this yet. I'm just going to do a...
It's an interesting thing because, spells are optionally going to have targets or indeed multiple targets.
Yeah.
Or just environmentally will affect the whole of an area.
Yeah. We need a target. I feel like I might have a target out here. What's target binding? No. Let's look only for classes here. So if I hold the the shift key down and I hit the letter C for class, it'll shut down all the others right there. And also I'm going to shift 9 to get rid of all the members. I'm sorry, just 9 to get rid of all the members. Visual effect target. Let's see what's that. Oh, interesting. This is for, okay, so I think we got to create something new. We're going to call this, I think it's an enum? No, it's class. Spell target. Like that. And I think I also want an enum. Spell target type. 17, because it's a number of viewers to, and it's a homage to the Alfred Hitchcock film. There's an Alfred Hitchcock film called 17.
That's interesting.
How do I not know that? Hitchcock films 17? I did not know about that. It's called Number 17. Looks like some people that could really use some therapy over here. By the way, kids hate watching dramas with me because the crux of just about every drama is character A does not talk to character B.
Oh, so very often.
And all I'm doing is the whole time through the dramas, I'm saying all you got to do is sit down and say what's right for you. Right, kids? We just talk, and then the whole problem just goes away. And they hate me so much. Okay, interesting. I will consider that. Consider it. Thanks for the suggestion, Codeman Codes. All right. Spell target type. And this is going to be a player. And a location. And maybe an enemy. Well, look at that. I just added a comma and hit enter, Rory.
Yep.
I know what you're thinking. You're like, Rory, you're like, Mark, you've got the CodeRushed thing. Just create your own issue here. Doing it now. Expanding in template. Added, comma, and hit enter. Let's roll back about 20 seconds. See if this one works, Roy. And I'll send that just to Alex. And I'm not going to send my log. Boom. So there's the CodeRushed issue. And so basically I was here. Let's delete that. I was like here. I added a comma and then hit enter. And it added a second comma. And I would love it.
And effectively redundantly.
Yeah, I would love it if the template did not add that other comma. Check your email, Rory. See if we got that email with the link to that location. Since we're kind of
delays.
All right. So we'll start with that, and the spell target is going to go here, and we'll have a property of that type, and we'll call this the target. And if it's a player, then we're going to say I need the player ID, so we're going to say player ID. And if it's a location, we're going to need some sort of coordinates, I guess. So let's make this a type vector. And then it's going to have possibly a range as well. Like that. And I think that's the target. All right. Let's move type to file. Move type to file. And then back over, let's get back to
that email made it through.
Awesome. Look at that,
checked,
Rory.
and at one point I had 3 simultaneous copies of you on my screen at once. One with a live on Skype, one with the stream, and the reviewing video from our issue.
Hey, Rory, when you get my Skype video, is it reversed or not? It's not reversed for you, is it?
The
text is
to the stream.
You can all read the text and everything.
Oh yeah, the studio's completely correct.
Yeah.
But I believe you are reversed relative.
Yeah, I'm reversed. It's reversing my video on my side, and I was like, wait, what? Does Rory have to look at this? This is what I look at for Rory. Oh, that's maybe a mess.
Okay, that's not going to make it too easy.
Hey.
But I got a little snippet of that. Yeah.
Guys, don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do
That was
drugs.
Very bad.
Hey, this is like a
It's
music
also two
video.
of you. How? It's not just reversed. It's wow.
I'm just gonna do this.
It's
Ratings,
a video
watch.
to go with music, right?
Ratings go way up. Oh wait, ratings are down. We're down to 13. Oh no, we gotta hurry, Rory. We gotta dance, buddy.
Up the quality, quick.
Quick, yeah, up the quality. All right, so we've got creating an alarm, and we got to set an event handler for that. In fact, what I think I really want to do is I want to create a local thing that says create alarm, and do that. Is what I think I want to do. And then we're going to declare that method, and then we're going to say D&D time clock dot create alarm, and we're going to pass in the time span and that, and I'm going to rename that to name, like that. And then we're going to declare a new local variable for this. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to say D&D alarm dot alarm fired, and I'm going to set that equal to D&D alarm fired. Do I really already have one of these? I think we built this yesterday when we were testing this, but I bet, yeah, nobody's calling it except for us. And right now we're just changing the title, which I'm okay with. So I think we've got enough to test. We're not sending any spell effects over yet, but I think we have enough to test. So let's run it and see what happens. My 90s television broke a few years ago, so I watched 2015's televisions now. I think we nailed Mark's fanfare. Mark Kubrick Miller.
That previous video, very good.
Yeah, Codeman Codes likes to watch 80s and 90s television. All right, so 80s TV was good. All right, so let's, I don't know, initialize player data.
Mercy Bushwhacker.
Come over here, click on Sanctuary. And notice the title is main window. So I don't have any breakpoints. Let's add a minute and see if the
I'm
title.
not sure we can see the title at all.
Oh, let me hide the
Where's the
scroll.
title around?
Oh, thanks, Roy. You're totally right. Let's do that. There we
There's
go.
a CodeRushed logo over it now as well.
Now
There we
I
go.
just moved it. Should be good. So now I'm going to add a minute because we just talk and wait. Notice the time clock to my right is advancing as well. If I add a minute, you know what? Let's just talk for a little bit and see if that changes
See if
on
it
its own.
naturally gets there first. Time travel the long way.
Yeah, I didn't really note the time on the clock, but I think it was probably about 30 seconds after. Or no, wait, about 20 seconds after? It was about 30 seconds ago, is my sense. So Sanctuary, we don't have any code to keep this from happening a second time, so this will just happen a second time if we wrap it all the way around. I'm dying.
There you go.
To change? Oh, there we go. Cool.
Done.
End spell Sanctuary.
Okay. So that worked.
That did work. Cool. Cool. Yeah, feeling pretty good about the spells. Okay. So there's our create alarm thing right in there. I think that we need to Let's do this. Let's, I'm just going to kind of write some code that does a hard code target on me. That's what I think I'm going to do.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to have to change signal R to do this. So let's do this. Let's close down the app. Now this is cool because I think I can change some signal R things in here without having to restart the main piece that's running, I think. So I'm going to target me, and I am going to send it. Oh, wait, I have an idea. Hold on. It's going to look like this. Let's go over into D&D Core, right here, and we're going to call this create a class called a cast spell. Cast meaning an adjective in this case. Casted spell, like that. And it's going to have two properties. It's going to have a spell as a property, like that. And it is going to have a target, like that. A spell target property as well. And that's what I'm going to send down across the wait, where were we? Here it is, right here. I want to say new casted spell, action shortcut.spell, and hold on, let's go into here. If I just type in CC, it'll get me a constructor. If I hit the spacebar to select all and hit enter, that initializes those two properties there. That's what I wanted. So we'll create the new casted spell and the spell target. So we're going to say new spell target. And we'll initialize that with, what are its properties here? Target is equal to target.player. And player ID is equal to player Merkin. This guy right down here. Like that. So that's my casted spell. And then I'm going to call cast spell and pass it. I'm going to call this spell to cast. Like that. And then we're going to call cast spell, which, oh, and we need to serialize that. Hold on. We need something like this code right here. Like that. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's go to add windup. Cast spell. We have a performance issue with the emitter.
It is not happy.
Yeah, it's not happy. I wonder if it's because I've got 2 instances of Visual Studio opened.
Well,
Let's switch to a burst to chill that down. Okay, cast spell is there. Let's look for add windup everywhere. And everywhere we find that, we'll modify it. This is a really cool experiment to see if we can actually change signal R without shutting down the other app that's running in the other instance of Visual Studio. Really? Add windup was only found in those locations? That's not good. I think that means we're going to have to shut down over here. This is the second instance of Visual Studio. I think we're going to find them all over the place here. Okay, I'm going to have to shut down. So guys, bear with me. We're going to shut down the... shut down this guy. Okay. Then we're going to get over here. All right, now we need to put the same class essentially down here. Okay, and we need to create a new class called spell data. So let's do that.
So is that effectively the DTO of the information you'll be following now?
Right.
From the server side.
Since you said DTO, data transfer object, I'm going to call it DTO right here, like that. Okay, so there's that. Let's go back to over in this world, over here, and what is it? Casted spell. That's where we want to go. So it looks like this. We've got a spell and a spell target. Sorry. What's going on? Why is my property not working here? It's weird. So we say spell of...
Oh, it's N for number, not I for integer.
Oh, that's why, thanks. So we got the spell, and then we have the spell target. Okay. Right, we got both of those. Let's go declare spell. Just gonna copy all this. How you doing, Rory? Everything okay? Am I writing code fast enough for you?
Oh, well, very much so. I'm just sort of grooving to the music.
Good. Not that we want to get rid of you, Rory, but we don't want you to be grounded from stream by the missus. How are you doing on time?
I got about 10 minutes or so.
Genescu7 says Rory cruise with that drone.
Gotta make the drone groove, right? Little bob left, little bob right.
Okay, wait. Duration and casting time. I don't need those. I think I'm just going to remove them. Because I'm pretty sure the serialization is smart enough to deal with pieces that aren't there. I'm pretty sure. Spell components. And let's go get those. I think there's a way I can specify not to serialize these anyway.
If you don't want to serialize something, certainly non-public things will be
Yeah, but I kind of need them public because I'm using them from from outside another DLL. All right, spell components. Let's go get to spell components. Verbal somatic material. That's one thing I love about enums is they're so easy to bring across like this. Okay, so components is of type spell components. Like that.
There's a JSON ignore attribute you can put on things to prevent
Perfect.
prevent the serialization.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. Is what I'm thinking about. Or alternatively, taking them out, using them as strings. So there's spell. Spell target is next. Spell target. He's seen it earlier before you came in.
I think Michael Jolly was asking whether Jetsam had seen his new fanfare.
He did. Jetsam saw it.
Yeah.
Jetsam saw it, totally. Need some semicolons here. There we go. Spell target type. Almost done. Good. I think I got it. That's going to give me my DTO, my data that I need across. I'm not going to ignore those for now. I think I'm just going to see what happens. I think everything's going to be cool. And then now we've got, let's see. So we've got we added cast spell here. We're not doing anything with it yet. Do something really cool. Really cool. I want to emphasize that. Oh, want to see cool CodeRushed feature? I think I can do that. Made it bold right there. It's not kind of a little hard to tell. Yeah, it's not really super bold. I can make it more obvious, but I'm not a big fan of it, of that. But all right, anyway, really cool. Okay, so we're gonna do something really cool. Let's go find. Let's continue on along our search here for add windup connection. Here we go. So we want to do a cast spell like that. Duplicate this. Look at that. And then now what'd you say?
God love that. Look at CodeRushed there.
Yeah.
All of the accuracy.
Yeah, it's really good. It's not bad. Totally good. This is exactly what I want because the spell might have effects front and back.
Yep.
Okay. Oh. Now we've got an end windup. I could have actually used the windup for this to some degree. But the windups are different. I'm okay with this for now. So, but I am going to use. I think I'm going to. There's another one in here. Clear windup. I thought there it is right there. Clear windup. I'm going to let that work. Use that for also spells. I think, or should I create my own clear spell as well? Oh man. Let's look at the code in here. I think it just clears everything out. Yeah, it says everything. It doesn't.
In wind up effect.
It's not even asking for the name. Is the deal on
But
it?
it is sourcing them from wind up effects collection.
Yes, it is. Which, yeah. So clear windup is going to work. I have to use windup name to find specific sprites to clear. So that's kind of what we're working on. We'll kind of have to solve that. So I'm going to use clear windup and use it as something that we can also use to clear a spell. I think.
Doesn't that mean you'll have to add the spell animation to the wind-ups collection for it to be found?
Yes,
Okay.
it absolutely does. And I was kind of planning on that anyway. So let's look at this. We've got cast spell there. We've cast spell there, and we're good. So we've done all of that. I think we can restart, but I'm going to need to shut down all the instances of Chrome to do that. And before I do that, I want to save a couple things. Give me 1 sec. And just saving those custom document well pages that we had before in the survey, because we're about to.
Yes, good point. If we're going to kill all the chromes, then anything useful in the chromes should be saved out somewhere first.
Okay, done that. Let's start up again.
I thought completely gone out of my head.
Here's Fred's thumbs up. Yeah, let's do it at 100%, right there. So that's that. It goes there and then drops down as well. So that's his thumbs up. Courtesy of my son and my daughter helping out as well with makeup lighting. At one point, my son and my daughter were kind of bickering. My daughter was kind of bickering at my son. And I was like, speak to my actors with respect. That's what I was saying to her. I was like, if you bicker at anybody like this on a real set, you're fired. You're not coming back. I said that a couple times, and I think I got the point through. You know?
Yeah. You have to become the really famous actor before you can get away with that stuff.
She wanted to be the hand, by the way. She was a little disappointed that he was selected, but it was his turn. She had done 2 in a row. She had done. She's the arms and legs for the Michael Jolly Taco, by the way, as it comes by.
Okay.
So we did that. Hold on a second. I see there's a little bit of my green screen there. Let's move that back. Okay, so we're running now. We've got the new add windup happening over here. Let's refresh, because I have a feeling drones are not being controlled, because I've...
Yeah.
Let's go to the D&D app, and let's run that as well. See if we get a running going here. And see if we get some data coming down. That's kind of what we're looking for.
Indeed.
All right. And let's refresh in the... there's the front overlay, refreshing. Dragon back overlay. There's a refresh of that. See the clock reload in a second. And the 3D dice, we'll go ahead and refresh that. I'm going to wait for that to finish loading, looking for that scroll bar to disappear. I saw them... oh, Hugo says, let's suppress my own fanfare, shall I? Yeah, good idea. That should probably be enough. And look at somebody's taking a while to load here, and I think that might be the 3D dice. I've seen this happen when I've got 2 instances of Visual Studio. It's like, it seems to take a little longer to load. What's this? Oh, this is taking a while to come up. I bet it's 100%.
Pretty close.
I think I need a new machine. Rory?
Yeah, why not? Let's make a grid and have them all work in parallel.
That's down to 94%. I got 5% to spare. I can do more stuff. Still not finished loading though. Yeah, OBS is like, I'm doing the best I can. Yeah, I think this is, I suspect this is disk access right here. That's what I think this is.
That's not 4748 copies, is it? Or is that the number of sub-processors?
I'm not sure what that is.
It could be good enough.
This is the house.
Jetsams here. Jessam, looks like, I just saw the end of that, and it looks like it was wrong. It was wrong for me. I think I need to, I didn't quite follow through on that one. I'll need to do that. It looks like we got a lot of stuff happening here.
Yeah.
Anybody worried about that?
It's a lot of the same three things repeating: Node.js, console, window, host, and service, or some kind of service hub.
Yeah.
Lots of the same stuff.
It's a little
I feel
worrisome.
like maybe things aren't getting tidied up when they get stopped and started.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not here, bot. Now I get to do this, and it does something, says Codeman Codes. Exactly. Yeah. Nice. All right. Well. Interesting. We were loaded, though. Let's send the... oh, no dice on this page. I guess we're okay with that. Is that okay? No, let's go over to one of these pages here. We'll initialize the player data. Cool.
Ava will burn.
Switch to Ava. Click on the Sanctuary button. And I don't think I have any breakpoints. Do I need to set some? I think it might be a good idea. Oh, I do have
Yeah,
a
I'm not
breakpoint.
sure that
Cool.
we're doing a lot inside of our cast spell at the moment.
Well, yeah, but we're doing at least enough. I just want to step through it and make sure everything's... Create alarm. So we've got the alarm. Spell to cast. Creating a new spell to cast. Right here. And so we've got a spell, which is Sanctuary. There we go. Cool. And player ID is 2. Sweet. And then we're calling cast spell. So that's cool. Before I call cast spell, I want to go into the other instance of Visual Studio, see if we can actually break here. Wouldn't that be sweet? Let me set a breakpoint because I've got this open right here. That's the back overlay. Sweet. And so let's come over here and hit run.
Nice.
Nice. Now, Ava's got an effect happening near her because that was her deal. Something was going on there. That's something separate. But now we've got the spell data coming in here. So let's dive into this. So no front game, but I got a back game. Let's go into back game here. And let's look at what comes across. I've got spell, nice, sanctuary. And I got a duration too, but I don't care. I'm not going to worry about that down here, the casting time. But they did come down,
Yeah.
right? So we just don't. We didn't declare it in our spell data DTO. So now what I want to do is I want to do something like this. If spell.name. Oh, spell.spell. Sorry, hold on. Let's change the name of this. Spell data.
You have
Well,
a spell data incoming.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say spell.spell for now. .name equals sanctuary, like that. Then I want to create a windup. Should I really do it this way? I'm not super happy with this, but I think I can do this. Like this, and I think I can do multiple lines like this. So I'm going to add a windup, and I got to kind of declare it like this. Something, and I forget the syntax, but you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy one that comes down from here, and I'll paste it in
Sure.
there, is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to run
You've
for
got
now.
some spell data right now.
Ooh, nice. Here it comes. Okay, sweet. Copy value. Let's come back up here. I'm going to hit run just so we get the music continuing. And it looks like I jumped back to the first instance of Visual Studio. That was cool. Kind of interesting. Okay, so here is what I got. So this is the one that was sent to Ava, I think. Is there something on, Roy, can you find me something online that can get me a This is a can syntax can format this for me. Oh wait, what if I did this? What if I just created it like that? Did I just do it? But
Possibly.
it's not actually breaking things
Kind
down.
of wants some. Yeah. I don't know if it puts. I got a thing in the chat room there. I don't know how well it will put carriage returns it, but
I might be able to do a comma with a comma carriage return. I have to do this, and we'll make it a comma space like that, and replace it with a comma carriage return, and do it in the selection. 63 instances. All right, that's better. And now we've got them. All right, cool. So now that I've got my effect and something, I can kind of edit it. The piece I really want is now, what about the player, though? How do we figure out where the player is going? Let's look for player. Oh, here it is right here. Active player X. Okay. Let's change this code.
welcome CodeRushed Alpha.
Think I can do that? Looks like I can do that. I can initialize to a this reference right there.
Copper Beauty is in the house.
Welcome, everybody. Everybody's welcome here. How you doing, CodeRushed Alpha? Glad you're here. All right, let me see if I can figure out what I'm doing. Roy, you can tell people what we're doing for everybody who just...
Well, so what we're doing is we're sending some additional information over SignalR from our system, which is now going to allow us to cast a spell with a duration, and the idea is that it should last for the duration that the spell is supposed to. So in this case we have a sanctuary spell which is supposed to last a minute, and then at the end of that minute we remove all of the effects from our system, and it will effectively naturally expire. So now nobody needs to keep track of how long these things are happening for, because the system is going to do it for us.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to take that which I copied and put it here, and I think that's going to work. I think there's my add wind up right there. It's kind of indented a little bit. At least get this in here like that. Cool. Do that. And add wind up has a second parameter we just added, which is the player ID that we want of the target. And I forget what the it's spell.target player ID. Because we're really only going to call cast spell in this space, at least for now, if it's going to be on a player. So we can kind of assume that. So now that'll put it over me instead of over Ava, that effect. And I want to do one other thing here. Here, I want to do this. So these sprites are all named, and we're going to have to actually test to make sure the naming is working, so we can then remove them later. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's refresh over here. Okay, there's the refresh. Set a breakpoint here. And we're going to come back over here. I'm going to click on something else like Shield of Faith. There's the Shield of Faith effect over there. And then I'm going to click on Sanctuary. And do we get a breakpoint? Sweet. Oh, disproportional excitement regarding latex formula and comments. Hold on, I missed a couple things in the stream here.
CodeRushed Alpha has taken delivery of a bunch of CodeRushed licenses for the team. He is spreading the wealth. It is really good. And apparently they are all very, very excited about getting stuck into what he calls lightspeed development, which is a pretty reasonable way of putting that.
Hugo says, have them come by this stream to learn about CodeRushed and just disregard any simultaneous productivity decrease. Correlation is not causation and all that jazz. Codebase Alpha says, disproportional excitement regarding latex formula and comments. Interesting. I'm not sure if that means good or bad or what, but...
I'm going to assume good, because I think that's, you know...
That's why you're here, Rory. Okay. So we're doing the...
Because reasons.
I hit F10 here, and I think it just executed this whole thing as one line, is what I think happened. But I didn't see any effect show up, though. Hold on a second. Let's try this again. Let's go back over to our app, switch Shield of Faith, back over to Sanctuary. There's her effect, and I just get right out of that? I think I've got an exception, is what I think is happening. Oh, look, something's over there, though. Oh, no, wait, that's only because we didn't send data over. Hold on. Let's see what we've got. Do we have an exception? Undefined. Okay, so we have an exception in that code. The spell DTO, parsing the spell data. Hold on. Is it because the names aren't uppercase? That might be one. Refresh. Okay, do I have my breakpoint still? Looks like I'm good with the breakpoint. Shield of Faith. Sanctuary. Am I breaking? Why am I not breaking? I don't get that.
A little strange.
Got my breakpoints right here. What's the breakpoint here? Was I break too long and I'll lose lost signal R? Is that my problem?
I guess it's possible.
Nope, I'm good. Okay. Cast spell. Cast spell. Now let's look at what we got. Spell's got data. It's not null. The name is not null. Cool. Now we wanted to add windup. All right. Not bad. I know what I did wrong. It's, well, okay, that. But it's not just player ID. It's, I got to get the active player X on it. So I got to say this dot get player X. This is going to tell me the X position of that player on the screen. Passing in the player index, not the player ID. Then I've got to say this dot get player. Why don't I have any? I'm pretty sure it's just get player index. I don't have. of that. Yeah, get player index is there. Takes player ID. So now that I got a chance of this working and showing up in a better place. So refresh. Now I'm expecting it to show up here, that shield.
Yeah.
And let's go. Let's trigger it. No, still not. Oh wait, that's okay. Hold on. I know why. Because I need to initialize the player data. Make Ava active. Okay. And now I'm going to click on the Shield of Faith. That puts it over there. Then I'm going to click on Sanctuary, and we should see Sanctuary more to the left. No! Yeah, I was like, no, too. We did get an effect, but we didn't get the one I was expecting there. Hold on, over here. Spell target player ID. Instead of breakpoint
It's not
here.
one of these ID things with different capitalization and therefore doesn't have a value.
I don't think so, because I copied everything and moved it across. Let's set a breakpoint and check it. So breakpoint here. That's kind of crazy. When I hit this, it scrolls down to the end of the line. It goes boom to the end of the line every time I do that. All right, so now I've got a breakpoint there. Shield of Faith, Sanctuary. What's the target ID? Player ID is 2. Let's step into it. So get player index should come back with 012 as well. Now it should say true there. Yeah, so there's my player index. Good. And now get player X should get, what's it doing here? Player index is equal to 2 times distance between players plus half the distance between players plus a horizontal nudge. So yeah, that should be good. Let's jump in here. Player, yeah, it's a different number, 858. Let's make sure we're not doing anything in here. Okay. Yeah, we're not using that in here. So we're using player X at 858. Well, I don't get it. The code tells me it's doing the right thing.
Are we using it correctly? We've got the value in the variable, but is the variable being used?
I don't know. You know, I'm going to run it on the... I'm going to do it on the live stream. I'm going to refresh the front overlay and the back overlay. And refresh both of those. And we'll see what happens here. Send the player ID over, player data over. Click on Shield of Faith. Oops, we've got a selected character. So there's Ava. Now we can do a there's a Wrathful Smite. And now do Sanctuary. Yeah, it is not. It's over her, not me. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm at a breakpoint. Oh, but I'm at a breakpoint for the other one though. So this should still go. So the wind-up's not working? Is that my deal?
Is there something in the wind-up data that you captured from it being over Ava that is overriding your external data, your player X data?
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't help that the I don't think it's the player X, but I think it's the I think the player X is right, but I think there may be some problem here. Let's go. Should this be in quotes? So do I have a syntax issue? Is that it?
Oh, interesting.
I think that might be it.
Yeah, that could help.
All right, let's refresh and set a breakpoint.
Though I do wonder, because it was picking the right effect.
No, because that same effect is what we caught when we were sending Sanctuary over. That's the one that Ava does. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, we might want to change that. But let's go. Shield of Faith. Whoops, sorry. Initialize player data. Switch to Ava. And Shield of Faith. Sanctuary. No breakpoint. I got a breakpoint right there. Okay. Now we're here and add wind up. Get out of that. Get out of that. Let's go into add wind up. What do we got with wind ups here? We got 3. I bet it was that. I think this mate has a shot of working here. I think we're good. I'm just going to run it. I think that was our problem. And, but it's not, doesn't look like it's in the right position though. Hold on. Let's try it again. Move this off screen and now click Sanctuary. Clear this, run it. No. Let's change on the calling side of this. Let's do a couple things here to see what's going on here. Let's go to here's where we add the spell. These are the effects that we're doing right here. Let's change the effect so that we can definitely have some differences here. So get a breakpoint in there, initializing the player data. All right. There is there's one that I think has to do something with trails. Let's turn off whole word and turn on regular expressions. It's just trails. Okay. So it's a vastly different effect. Okay. So what I'm going to do is change all of that to trails on her and run it. And so to run it, we've initialized player data, switch to Ava, hit Shield of Faith, now hit Sanctuary. You should see this on the stream. So there's the trails, radically different. And it's calling fade on its piece. I do not want to fade out on ours. Let's go back over to ours over here. So that was not it. It was not enough to do it. I think we're going to have to step through in a little more care. It is lifespan. I'm going to turn off lifespan here. And just to be clear, I don't think this is the problem as to why it's not drawing it, but I want to get rid of the lifespan because I want it to stay up. All right. Set a breakpoint here. Refresh. Initialize player data. Switch to Ava. By the way, look at the title.
It's getting kind of excessive, isn't it? But that does check, or it does at least prove that it is firing.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's do Sanctuary. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I got excited for a second, but it was just this. It's the same stuff we've already seen. So not there. Also no breakpoint. It's interesting. I seem
A couple
to...
times now, it's been like the second occurrence that's actually caught the breakpoint.
Yeah, I was wondering, because the first time I hit F5, and the second time I clicked this button, and I bet it stops it now, because that's what was happening before. One more time. Initialize player data. Let's change to Ava. Click Sanctuary.
We're just suffering a lack of hard reload. A cached version of our old JavaScript.
Let's try it. Empty cache and hard reload. I'll do that this time. Initialize player data. Switch to Ava. Sanctuary. Not getting it. I feel like if I do this, maybe this has got a shot of it. There we go. Yeah, sometimes Visual Studio needs to be reminded. Set a breakpoint here. Look at the wind-up data. Yeah, it's got wide. That's this effect. And the player X is 858. That's the right spot. What's happening? So we found the sprites. Use 170. That's like set up up here. There it is right there. So that's coming in. No lifespan. It's undefined. Cool. Fade in time is 500. No velocity. Fade out time is 900. Play to end on expire. That's not needed here. Rotation, 0. Gravity vector, I'm assuming is 0 and 0. Cool. Horizontal thrust override. 0 and 0, good. Scale is 1. Any rotation? No. No initial rotation on this one, flip persona. If sound file name, then play it. So we added it. We should be drawing it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Is there a console error that I'm maybe missing that's maybe causing a problem? That doesn't make sense. It still should draw it. Where's player used? Hold on a second, Company Software. I just want to make sure. Yeah, no console errors. and without breakpoints, I'm going to try it one more time. Shield of Faith, Sanctuary. Wait, I saw 2 for a second. What? So it is kind of working, maybe?
It's like it's got a really quick expiry.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Let's do this for a second. See if we have a lifespan problem.
Right, I have just discovered that I have a lifespan problem, or at least I will have if I don't make a move fairly soon.
Oh, really?
So I'm going to have to leave you here. I've realized that my ability to measure 10 minutes is somewhat also in error.
Really? Before you go, Rory, just give me 1 second. When I
Sure.
click on initialize player data, we got a breakpoint over here. We added a new template yesterday called time for Rory to leave. And it expands to no. All right, buddy. See you tomorrow, maybe or maybe not.
Yeah, tomorrow is difficult. Yeah, there's a 50-50 chance I would give it, but definitely Monday.
Do you like this font?
Be back to normal this one. This is very nice.
I drew it myself during the show.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
All right, mate. See you soon.
Bye. All right. Go back to run that. No, not Monday. Did I say Monday? Mark used the shortcut. I did. Monday. No, I think we're back on Tuesday. Right. All right. So let's do a refresh out over here. Too bad. Initialize player data. Switch to Ava. Sanctuary. Yeah, it's like there and gone. What has happened with its expiration? Worldwake says, got a couple of job interviews for developer positions. Excellent, Worldwake. It's great news. Roy Becker, I just noticed, gave us a JSON formatter curious concept. Nice, he put that out there earlier. Yeah, super cool. All right. Yeah, I'm super curious. I don't understand why this is working any differently at all from an add windup. Let's try Worldwake says, now just got to nail the technical parts and should be off to new work. I find, from my perspective, for me, the technical parts are not as important as as I think an attitude of cooperativeness and enthusiasm. For me, and even I use this as a criteria for deciding what people will work on. Even if someone is more skilled but less enthusiastic, and someone's really enthusiastic but less skilled, I find that the folks with more enthusiasm generally do better work on that particular task. And if I'm really worried about skill, you can always pair up, or do code reviews or do other things to ensure that skill is good, or that the quality of the code is good. But my number one, when I'm hiring, I'm thinking about fit with an existing team, right? So I know personalities of the guys on the team, and I want to make sure that whoever I'm hiring isn't going to cause problems that now is going to make my job harder. So, from a management standpoint, I'm looking for, I'm rarely looking for the best programmer. I'm more looking for somebody who is cooperative, somebody who is open to applying discipline to the way they work, right? So if I say, okay, well, we want, test cases before any bug is fixed, that's important. If I say code reviews are important, I need people to essentially buy into that, even if that might not be something they already do normally. So I'm looking for that kind of thing, a sense that somebody is going to be able to adopt your style and the style of the team, the way that the team interacts. So I guess I would just offer that out, that if you are enthusiastic about working at a particular location and you show that, I think you can go in there with the attitude that, hey, you know what, technical problems, you may not, a lot of times I think in interviews, they're like, here's your challenge. Like I think I had I remember a challenge I had in a Microsoft interview. It was a totally technical challenge. And I'm like, okay. And I solved it. And then they're like, okay, now solve it with less memory. They're using the least amount of memory possible. Or now solve it and I'm like, okay. So we went again. And then they're like, okay, now solve it with performance, strictly performance, in mind. What's the fastest way to solve this? And I'm like, okay. So I went back again. I think it was take a bunch of letters in a string and reverse them. It was something simple like that. And, so we did that. And I think the cool thing about that interview is like, all right, how do you handle changing constraints? Right? Which I thought was also a good thing. Worldwake says it has happened earlier where I ran into some hacker rank interview questions that were too hard for me, algorithm stuff. Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is this. If you get that, I think your response is you're relaxed and you're like, well, I'd obviously researched that. I can do that right now in front of you if you want in the context of the interview, but maybe it'd make more sense for me to tell you how I would solve this problem rather than trying to solve this without access to research. And I think that that's how you do that. And I think that that shows you're commanding, you're calm in a potentially stressful situation, which is another attribute, right? It's another asset. Something I want on my team is I want people who can handle chaos calmly. Right, we recently had an issue internally inside of DevExpress where one of our interim releases of the Code Places feature had a couple bugs, and some folks were outraged that the bugs slipped by internally. And a few folks on the team were nervous about the outrage of other folks inside the company, right? How could this get out? And I was like, in general, we're not going to respond to the outrage. What we're doing is we're going to stay calm. We're going to do what we always do when there's a bug. We're going to collect as much data as we can. We're going to find it. We're going to fix the bug, and we're going to get out a release. That's what we're going to do. If people want to, cast dispersions about what our quality is, they can. But in general, but the data speaks for our quality, is what it does, right? And so, and that's what that's how it was. So it's like being calm, and I think that's incredibly important, right? You can, if you participate in an emotional conversation about code, right? Then I think it's a loss from the beginning once you start engaging in it emotionally. Yeah, so I'm looking for people who stay calm. And I often think, by the way, that when interviewers are there, they don't really necessarily know what they want. So my take on it, Worldwake, is, my advice to you is, hey, if you don't know something, that's totally okay. Because guess what? We all don't know something. But what I want is somebody, if I ask them to do something they don't know, I want them to be like, okay, I don't know, no idea how to do that. Here's my plan for how I'm going to become skilled enough to know that. Here's how I'm going to research it. Here's what I'm going to look for. Here's what I'm going to do to get that done, right? And that might also include things like, and I'm going to build test cases afterwards to verify that it works and to improve the quality of the code I write for this company, right? Whatever company that is. So that's my advice, Worldwake, on there. And I have a feeling that most of the folks that interview you, most would similarly agree with that they would be like, yeah, those are good qualities to have in a new hire. Yeah, I agree with Code-Based Alpha. Sounds like pointless questions. You can look those up on the web. So using an abacus and duct tape. If it's that bad of a bug, then it can be approached with the attitude of, how can we make sure we don't have this or a similar issue again? Yeah, like the security fix Apple undid in a recent release for iOS. Yeah. All right. I am thinking, just watched the Apollo 13 movie. Yeah, the solution was keep calm, learn a lot. Yeah, it's like that. You have to be able, you have to slice through the emotion. You have to be able to be like, okay, what do I need to do to solve this? And I actually was totally proud of our team after that, because nobody got into it in the internal chat, in the internal forum discussion. None of our team did. We simply just acted professional, right? Get us the data, get us the data, get us the data. Hold on one second. I just want to see what's going on here with. Okay, good. Folks are making it back. My favorite was when a phone interviewer kept asking, do you do X at your current job? The interview ended with him ever asking, well, do you know how to do X? I ended up getting the job through another company. The previous editor was so mad when I told him about the interview. Yeah. What is going on with this? Why aren't we seeing the spell data off to the side? Let's see if I think we did the 15 and we refreshed and it was like, no, I'm still going to disappear in a second. All right, let's try one more time, just refresh my memory in terms of where we are. And click on, here's Shield of Faith, and then now click on Sanctuary. Yeah, it's up and gone. I'm going to set a breakpoint. Look at the data one more time carefully. Lifespan looks right. Yeah, I think the problem is that the problem isn't here, but what's curious and bizarre is I don't understand why the problem isn't here. And I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to end the show. And I'm going to think about it. That's what I think I'm going to do. Just hitting it again and again, watching it fade in for a second and then leaving. Yeah, the expiration time is good. Where are we removing windups? Are we removing them anywhere? Yeah, they wouldn't be here. They'd be over in somewhere in this space. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this. I think that's what I'm gonna do. End the show. Yeah, I agree with Will Bennett. I think knowing the ins and outs of language syntax is nothing compared to actually being able to solve problems. I think there are generally two skills I'm looking for. I'm looking for an ability to solve problems in any language, in any kind of thought space, right? And I'm looking for discipline, an ability to accept and adopt personally a way of working, right? That's going to from my perspective, is going to lead what we ask our devs to do are things that are likely to lead to higher quality product. That's what we're doing. So so those are the two qualities I look for. All right, let's see who we can send you out over to here. Who are we following? Who's out there? Instafluff. We haven't rated Instafluff in a while. Wait, is Guzman out there? I have never rated Guzman. Talk to me, Gooseman. All right. Looks like he's having fun. Let's send you over to Talk to me, Gooseman, kids. Tell him I said hi. And we will see you guys later. Thanks so much. Looks like I did not refresh the drone, kids. Thanks, guys. Sorry about not fixing that bug. I hate ending shows like this, but I'm not sure what it is. I need to figure that out. We will talk to you kids later.